One of my favorite tools, in addition to a great book of quilting designs, is this great material called Dissolve. Dissolve is from Superior Threads, also the same material is put out by Sulky Company under the name Solvy. It is a white glue that's dried in very fine sheets, so it's an easy job to just slightly spritz the book or slightly spritz a piece of fabric, and you can stick the dissolve onto the fabric, which holds it in place while you're quilting. What I use the dissolve for is to trace onto with a permanent marker pen, and then once I've traced all my lines, I attach it to the fabric either with a spritz or with a bunch of pins, and I can have it pinned all the way around the design so it doesn't scoot as I'm working. The beauty of dissolve is that when you're drawing, see all these little scribbles? I can draw right on top of this dissolve, and then none of it comes through onto that piece of paper below. So here's a piece I've already traced onto, and I've already quilted it. I stitched right on the lines. Because I left, as I drew, I left that bit of line separation between the sock and the trouser. I could see what my path was that I was following to come and go. As you stitch, you could always just double stitch over that as you go in and out so that you only have one line visible when you're done. Now, after the pieces are pinned on, you want to unpin them. If you're working with the spritz method, where you've kind of got it semi-laminated, hopefully you didn't laminate it too much, or you really have to throw that in the wash to get rid of it. The beauty of this is that you can unzip the dissolve from the stitching line, and after you've unzipped that side, you can just lift it off of the second side, and it's gone. If you have just a little tiny place where maybe some of the dissolve stays, a little drop of water on your finger, dab it on. It's so little an amount of dissolve that's left that when it melts into the fabric, you won't notice it. If you were to try and spritz this whole layer to remove it, you'd find it only looked like you were laminating your quilt. So if you're not picking it off, which is what I would do on a quilt I couldn't wash, you would just throw it into a bucket of water and just swish it around a lot, plenty of water. After you swish it around a bit, rinse it away and it's gone. That's how I do whole cloth quilts, and that's how I do whole cloth jackets. If you are doing this with a white thread on a white fabric, you're going to see that that pen line will drag through and show up on your white fabric. Not a good idea. In which case, you probably prefer to use something Solvy puts out, or rather Sulky puts out, called Fabris Solvy, which you can draw on with a pencil. But then you have to wash it. It's not something that picks away. They also have a new product, and no, I don't work for Sulky. They have another product where the dissolve is on a paper that will go through your computer, so you can print directly onto it before you quilt through it. Fabulous technology that allows me to quilt as good as I draw. Bye.